Consumerism is a social and economic ideology that encourages the acquisition of goods and services in ever-increasing volume. This mass production in the 20th century led to an economic crisis. There was an oversupply of goods, and so manufacturers began planned obsolescence. Products were now manufactured with an artificially limited life. With items now produced more cheaply and designed to become obsolete, what impact has this had on traditional craft trades, and in particular on restoration trades? Speaking with a shoe repairer and furniture restorer, we find out what they think about disposable goods in their market and how they have survived on today's modern high street.
Cobbling is obviously repairing shoes, kitting people in with their favourite footwear. Shoe repairs change because the nature of how shoes are made these days. Things are just getting cheaper, nastier. A lot of things now get imported. I think Clark's no longer make leather-soled shoes. So all have big bearings, big factors on what comes into the shop. And people just seem to want to buy cheaper and cheaper. It's the modern day world that the people just have X amount of pounds in their pocket to spend, and quite often you can find a shoe repair charge is higher than what it costs for new shoes is. The man-made shoes are just all basically hollow, man-made, cheap, nasty, moulded units. Yes, we can work with them. It just takes a little while to sort of rebuild and to sort of work on the base of the shoe to get that structured up, so it will take a repair on the top of the shoe, or on top of the sole. Traditional leather soles are just a dream to work with. The whole shoe is just constructed in a much better way, just more durable. It's just the way to go, sort of thing. It's you can't beat things that are put together properly in the first place, but for that you'll always pay a premium.
Upholstery is recovering furniture or upholstering furniture from scratch. Well, I worked in a factory for 22 years. I was an apprentice for about 4 years, and then when I left the factory I started up here on my own doing antique and modern furniture, and I've been doing it here for 31 years. When I first started, I used to work for a firm called Lupton Morton, and we were taken over by Habitats, and that's when we had to make mass production. I try not to say the word rubbish, but it was cheap and horrible stuff, as opposed to some of the good quality stuff we used to make when we first started working.
We now live in what is often described as a throwaway society. The excessive production and resulting overconsumption of short-lived or disposable items over more durable goods that can be repaired. It has changed the way people care for items like shoes and furniture. To repair or simply replace is a question regularly asked by consumers, with the cost of both very similar in many cases.
A lot of guys finding it tough. A lot of guys find it hard to survive in today's market because the repair cost, as I said probably earlier, is that you can spend £10, £12, £15 on a repair. You look at a modern day shop and you can pick a pair of shoes up for £10 to £20. Every shop on the high street has a sale on most of the time nowadays for whatever you want to buy, whether that be t-shirts, jeans, any sort of clothing. Footwear is obviously included in that. And it is a tough world. As an independent store, you've got to listen to your customers all the time. You listen to what they're asking for, and see, anything that they're maybe not getting in other shops in the town, any little service that maybe you can offer without treading on people's toes. You're just listening all the time. But as I said earlier, obviously as a shoe repair is what I trained as. Stitching work, leather work was in with that. The key cutting went hand in hand, always seems to have gone hand in hand with shoe repairing. Can't give the answer as to why the two are connected. That just seems to have sort of maybe just happened. These services we offer, like say with the shoe repairing, the key cutting, bag repairs, a lot of the high street repair shops don't offer that. But it's a changing world and you've got to stay up with it really. as best you can.
When speaking with people local to Gary's shoe repair shop, it was interesting to learn more about their habits when purchasing shoes. How often do people buy new pairs of shoes, and how many of these do they anticipate having repaired?
How often do you purchase a pair of shoes?
Probably once every couple of months.
Twice a year?
I'd probably say about every 4 to 6 months.
Would you have your worn shoes repaired, or is it more likely for you to go and buy a new pair?
I'd more likely go and buy a new pair usually, depending on the price of the shoe which I purchased, but usually I would go and buy a new pair.
I think I'm probably that throwaway generation that would get a new pair. I think if you spoke to my mum, who is in her 50s, she always goes to the shop down there to get her heels replaced.
I'd say probably more likely to buy a new pair, but I do get some stuff repaired if I've got some kind of good handmade shoes. Yeah, that I'd probably get re-heeled. Yeah.
It appears that while people are likely to have more expensive, formal shoes repaired, they do not often give a thought to repairing their more casual daily footwear. With such a rapid increase of cheap casual footwear often not being considered worthy of repair, it is easy to see how this has had an impact on Gary's trade.
The furniture was getting made cheaper somewhere else, I think. The stuff we were making in the end was so repetitive, production line, that they used chipboard and plywood as opposed from proper wood. It's just become no quality, no everything was just timed, and you had to do your 20 an hour, and that was it, you know. There's a lot of this furniture is being made abroad. A lot of it is made in Wales. Believe it or not, three-piece suites are made in Wales, and they're selling three-piece suites now cheaper than I could buy the wood, the materials. They're selling it for I don't know how they get the prices, apart from they don't pay the people who are making them enough money.
With the ever-decreasing price of furniture, many items including three-piece suites are increasingly considered to be throwaway items. Another large store where furniture manufactured abroad can be purchased at low prices has recently opened just half an hour's drive away from Norman's Restoration Workshop. IKEA, famed for its low-priced, ready-to-assemble furniture, has been very popular since it opened in Reading in 2016. So why do its customers spend their money here, and not on restoring older, more durable items of furniture?
What encourages you to shop at IKEA?
Mostly that it's quite cheap, and they have a very wide range of everything you'd need.
I think it's probably the ease of just like picking things up.
Obviously the price of things, it's accessible, it's open long hours.
So have you considered buying what might be more durable furniture elsewhere, or having maybe older furniture restored, even if it's more expensive?
Yes, so I think IKEA probably has pieces that have maybe less character because they're really built for purpose, and they're cheaper, which, you know, they maybe won't look as nice. So if I wanted something that looked a bit nicer, I'd probably buy something maybe more expensive and more antique-y.
Yeah, I'd much rather have restored furniture, older furniture. We've in fact got some at home. We've restored our own dining room table and chairs, but it's just easier to come here and grab something quick that may not be a long-term purchase.
I think that the amount of time that it takes to find a restorer, most of us have no knowledge of who restorers are, and then to actually get your thing, whatever your thing is, to the restorer, it's a whole nother layer of time and effort that most busy people just don't have.
Although people appear to like the idea of restoring furniture, it appears that the perceived costs, practicality, and simply the lack of trading restorers all echo Norman's concerns that the ever-increasing availability of cheap furniture is undoubtedly leading to the rapid decline of the traditional upholstery trade.
And it's what you get used to, really. you just get reliant and dependent on all the little bits you get to add, just make your business even stronger, and sort of able to stand in the marketplace as a sort of as a shop that's going to survive, because that's the name of the game. You've got to survive. Shoe repairing on its own would be a tough one. You would do it, but it's your standard of living. You like to maybe eat as well as just come to work, and when you eat, you want to have a little bit of jam on your bread as well. So it's yeah, it's important to offer everything, really. Yeah, very much so. I don't know if I'd want to be a kid coming into this game, being a 17, 18, 20-year-old kid coming into the game. I don't know what the trade would offer. It'd be like if you had your 40, 50 years ahead of you. Yeah, but on the other hand, things keep changing. The world keeps changing, and you've got to stay with it. So I've thoroughly enjoyed the changes and the things we've added. It makes the job more exciting, makes the job more challenging, and just offers you more dimension. It's more fun to say, oh, I've got a trophy to engrave, I'll go and do that. But it would be tough, I think, as an independent shopkeeper, to open a shoe repair shop and think I'm going to survive for the next 40, 50 years doing what we're doing. Yeah, definitely. And I enjoy the challenge of that day-to-day sort of, survival. And I'll always keep listening, always keep trying to learn new things, the new little challenges that come along, because, yeah, I'd love to, I don't want to close. I'm not, we're going to keep going, definitely, definitely.
I recover anything. I tell people that it's not worth it really, but they've had it and they like it, and I will do it. And I do the best I can with what I've got. They've had it in the family, or great Aunt Daisy passed it down and they want to keep it, and I will do it. I will do it as good or better than what it was when it's done. People keep telling me I shouldn't retire because they wouldn't know where to go get the furniture done. People won't use upholsterers no more. The only upholsterers will be people who recover real antiques, because I think other furniture will be just throwaway. People will buy it, keep it for 6 years or whatever, and then just chuck it away and replace it.